Hi, I'm Sophie, and I haven't seen a lot of films.
Hi, I'm Paul, and I'm here to help with that. And we are
SP, Film Viewers.
Well, I put up with Tom Cruise. Now, Sophie has to put up with Adam Sandler.
Karma has literally bitten me in the bum in a space of a week.
Yeah, I think he did bring it up between ourselves about, like, oh, if you've seen a Tom Cruise, then I guess I can see what. But the opportunity to see something that he's actually good in, as opposed to just what you might be used to in, say, like, Waterboy or The Wedding
When
Singer,
you say
perhaps.
good, it's like, At least Tom Cruise Top Gun is an iconic film and everybody's really excited to go and watch the new one that's coming out. I don't know if this one that we're going to be reviewing is going to be like one of those films where...
It did pretty well in terms of it's been the label, which is A24, which is kind of like one of these upmarket independent film distributors, and it's proven to be one of the best and most popular ones out of the catalogue.
That meant nothing to me. I
No,
looked at you like I really wanted to say something intelligent back, and I'm like, I don't even know what catalogue you're on about, so I can't even...
I'm just meaning the film catalogue, library of films that distributed by this film company is all I'm saying. It's just like saying, well, it's popular in amongst the film community is what I'm trying to get at.
It depends on who likes that film community. The only thing that's going for this...
As I mentioned, that The Weeknd features in this. He is performing, but he's kind of like some sort of semi-recurring character in it. So he's actually there talking and stuff. So it's not just he just happens to be in a club or whatever, that kind of thing. So it's
like the Ed Sheeran in Bridget Jones' Diary, which is a bit like, and his cameo in Game of Thrones, where he just gets flung in. I am just going to say, I don't think we've actually said what the film is, but I'm guessing movie buffs out there probably...
You see from the title, obviously, the episode, but...
You'll already know what it is, and from what we're saying.
Yeah, so it's Uncut Gems. And I think we did start this, like, way back when it was, like, 2019, when the film came out on Netflix.
I can't remember why I said I didn't want to carry on with it.
Well, I think I know why, to be honest.
I don't know if it's... I think it was because... From what I can remember, he was playing a serious role.
That's right, he is.
But he still had that voice, like, that squeaky and jokey, like, so I couldn't take him seriously in his serious role.
Okay.
And I think that it just and his face was just,
Right on some parts there. I think if you can maybe try and get, like you say, with the Tom Cruise, to get past that aspect of that, thinking he's just going to be his silly self. I think it's just how he talks normally.
I think that's the problem for me.
Yeah.
Like you say, Tom Cruise's smile.
Yeah.
It's just his voice is just like, no one speaks like that.
Well, clearly they do, but Anyway, before we get into the film, I'll give a little brief overview of what the synopsis is. A charismatic jeweller makes a high-stakes bet that could lead to the windfall of a lifetime. In a precarious high-wire act, he must balance business, family, and adversaries on all sides in pursuit of the ultimate win.
So, is he a jeweler?
Yeah, a jeweler. I just read a charismatic jeweler.
Or is he dealing corrupt, dodgy jewellery? It's not like one of those...
Yeah,
he's not going to be
like Kate
at
Samuels.
Tiffany's, is he?
Yeah.
You know, where Audrey Hepburn's walking in.
Yeah, it's like a bit of a gambling man and just like putting money into,
Does he die?
Why would you say that?
I think I'd enjoy watching that.
If he died?
Yeah.
This is just a strange thing for you to ask.
What? I was waiting for you to answer. The suspense made me think he did, and then I was like, okay, that's all right then. I don't mind if he does die. Like, in all the other ones, he gets hurt, and it's just annoying.
When he comes out winning at the end, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, you have to see it, find out, won't you?
I hope everyone listens to this episode, by the way, because I am wasting, is it 2 hours of my life here watching this film?
Something like that, yeah.
For the love of Paul and for you guys to listen.
For the love of the podcast, yeah. I don't think you're going to find it as too terrible as you might think, but we'll see.
How old's the Weeknd in this? Is he good looking in this?
I forget.
Has he got his dready locks?
It's in like his early stages of his career, so it might. I don't know if it's House of Balloons era or
it's a baby.
I think, or
I catch
Kissland,
on my face.
That type of before then I think.
Right. So he'll have his like weird dreadlocky hair.
2016, I think it's set or something like that. Okay. That's when the world is set, I believe. I have to double check that, but
okay.
But anyway, she'll be back after we've seen the film.
Yay!
So, yay! I'm quite looking forward to revisiting this one again.
Yeah, of course you are. You're looking forward to it because I'm going to be miserable.
We'll see you in a bit.
Bye.
I'm begging you, just give me another shot.
You know what, Howard?
Say yes. What?
I think you are the most annoying person I have ever met. I hate being with you. I hate looking at you. And if I had my way, I would never see you again.
It's because you're mad. You're mad, and it makes sense. You can punch me if you want.
And sadly, we're back to review this movie.
Why sadly?
Well,
you've seen the film now, so it's not like before.
But now we just have to reiterate what's happened and just go over it again, which once is enough.
Is it really that bad?
It grated on me. I'm glad we kind of put it into chunk sizes. So you were generous in that way because it was like 2 hours long, wasn't it? So we did
2 hours 15, yeah.
Yeah. So like an hour and then an hour and 15 to space it out.
Yeah.
The first half was not as bad as the second half. The second half, I was getting really annoyed because it's like you're not learning from any of the mistakes you're doing. You're just repeating the same things and wondering why life's going bad for you and you're crying about it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, you're not learning from them. So So Howard, the main character, which is his annoying as hell. I forgot his name. I've just literally...
What do you mean? Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler.
You forgot his...
Buried it to the back of my mind.
I thought you meant the character's name.
No. So he's called Howard, isn't he? Yeah. So he's a middle-aged man, kind of with a crisis. I think that's what it looks like he's going through.
Yeah.
A midlife crisis. He wants the younger girl, even though he's got a beautiful wife and a family, and he wants to make money quickly.
Yeah, get rich quick scheme type of thing. Yeah.
Which never works. It never works, people. Just don't bother. It just... Unless you win the lottery and it's a fluke, then, that's it, really. Doing what he's doing of, I'll buy this to sell this to bid this, to then bet on it, that was...
Yeah, I mean, I'm not big on the whole, betting things away and stuff, but I don't know how you can loan something out to then, I want it back now because I've got the money to put on a bet and pay you back. I don't know. It doesn't seem like the pawn shop stuff where it's like, give you this ring, you keep hold of it for now, but don't sell it. I don't understand. But what if someone gets it? And
I think you might have a certain amount of days or month to be able to pay it back, and you can reclaim it. So you're getting the money for a loan, and they're holding that item,
right? Yeah.
And then you have to go back and either pay it back, and if you don't reach that point where you can pay it back, they will sell it. Mm-hmm. But you've kept your money, so it's like a loan, basically. Okay,
I like you had to explain that to me, and it's your first time watching it. But it's like,
and then a gamble as well. Basically, he's gambling. It's literally everything he's doing is a gamble, even if it's betting or putting it in a pawn shop. Yeah. He doesn't know if he's going to get that money back to pay that off, and it's just like this vicious spiral that's going down. And there's certain points where you feel sorry for Howard. And there's other points where you're just get your shit together. You've just literally won loads of money and now you're putting it on a bet that of all of it.
It's greed, isn't it?
And at one point I had to walk out of the room because it was just doing my head in. It was like...
Yeah, there was more of the back end.
I can't...
When it was going to get into the big climax, yeah. But all these... You probably agree with me on the whole, like, anxiety-inducing situations from everything. Even just simple things like, being on phone calls, and it's like, oh, someone else is talking to me at the same time, and it's just like, oh, God, like, I don't even like that myself at the best of times.
No.
When people are message me, and then it's
that's like my work life.
It's like, oh, shut up, I'm just trying to get my stuff done.
And I just need a bit of space just to be able to process what you've said to me, and then I can move on to the next person. Yeah. Where it's like, I was getting kind of anxiety, kind of like from it all, and when there were like loads of people talking and it being hustled and bustled, and it's like, but also it's the intenseness of like, he doesn't have any money. These people are after him. This other person is wanting him. It's all of that kind of, he's literally making enemies every way he turns.
Pretty much, yeah.
And he's just bullshitting them as well. Like, literally, he's just got the gift of bullshit of like, no, I'll pay you back. And then it's like, Adam Sandler as a role, the character he plays is, I will give him credit, it is better than Waterboy or Wedding Singer.
Yeah.
It is. He's still got that insipid voice. He's still got a face that you want to punch. He acts... Well, I guess he annoys me, so I guess he does a good job.
Yes, I can see
if that's what they're going for.
Mission accomplished, yeah.
If that's the kind of character they're wanting to portray as an annoying asshole who wants a quick win in money, then we've got him. Do I...
sympathise with him?
I did for a little bit. Yeah. There was one point where I thought, when I said, oh, is he going to die in this film? Yeah. And it was when he'd got rid of Julia. Yeah. Because she was kind of trying to get it on with The Weeknd. That bit was like, I felt like The Weeknd's part was obsolete, really, and minimal. Apart from him singing, his actual lines weren't that impactful.
Less than I remembered, I guess. I thought he had a bit more, but it turns out he was just was just a very brief thing, like doing coke in the bathroom, and that was it.
But it seems legit for him. Back in that day, for a start to be like that. Yeah. But it's more when he loses Julia and he's crying, he's been beaten up.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, I've said this person, is he going to die? And is he going to commit suicide? Is it going to be like a dark turn of he's realising he's lost everything, so he's going to end it because he doesn't have anything to live for now? But then I realised, Sophie, he's not that selfish. He's too self-involved
in himself to do that.
Yeah. He couldn't do that. So I was like, literally, it was like he felt sorry for him. And then Julia came in, she was wiping his tears. He got a phone call thinking, oh, yeah, something had gone successful. KG still wanted to buy the Opal.
Kevin Garnett, the basketball player.
And it were off again.
Yeah.
It was like literally like bipolar. 1 minute it was like out down in the dumps, and then that call made him flying up in the sky again. And it's like, I can't actually cope with this roller coaster of emotions.
No, I think that's the intention of what the film is going for. Really, these really spaced out situations. There's you have these moments where there's short bursts of like really intense scenes, but thankfully, there's quiet moments. Like obviously, the biggest one is probably where it's kind of calms down is when Howard is having he's having a meal with his wife, kids, and all these like relations, until you realise that one of the people he's kind of involved with is actually sat at the table with him in this whole situation. So it's kind of like
family members. I think she's married probably to like his sister, or it's his wife's sister. So it's like another son-in-law, and he seems to be a bit of a crook as well.
Yeah,
and has got into the bad lines of him borrowing money and getting into a sticky situation with family members, which he's the one that's actually after him the most.
Yeah.
Even though
he's the one involved, putting him in the boot of the car, with no clothes on and stuff.
Which is messed up, since it was like his cousin or niece performance, and he's jeopardising her kind of, not career, but like performance as well, and her dad not getting to see it. So it's like a bit messed up. I could understand if somebody was doing that and they didn't know they had a connection.
No.
But even to say they have that connection and do that, it's a bit
No.
wrong.
But you get the sense, as you may expect, that the daughter has no real respect for him.
Yeah.
The sons maybe do a little bit more because, oh, that's cool, Dad. They thinking with the whole basketball thing and like interested in the bets and stuff. The older son, anyway. The younger one, there's a scene where he's supposed to be going to say goodnight to him and he's just sat in the dark watching the game for some reason. What's even the point?
Disturbing the little boy as well, basically, while he's trying to get to sleep. His dad's going, yeah! It's like, how am I meant to be sleeping when you're on the floor with a light on your screen?
Yeah, I don't even know what the point of that is, really. Just say goodnight and walk out.
It just shows a bad parent. I think he was meant to read him a story, and instead it was like, I'll just pretend to be here while to appease his wife, basically.
Yeah.
And that relationship with his wife's a little bit like they're just trying to stay together for the kids, basically. Even though once they're in bed, he goes away.
Yeah. And
goes to see Julia. So his wife's not daft. She knows he's got somebody else and he's wanting this fast life.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of see that scene at the bar mitzvah where his wife can still fit into her dress from the bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
And he becomes this creepy, needy thing because he realises life's just gone down the swanny and he's messed up.
She's nothing to me and all that kind of spiel.
Yeah. But I don't really know who he actually loves in the end. I just think he literally uses every person to get by, basically. So he's thinking, Julia is...
She works at the jewellery...
I think he let her, didn't he?
...store that he works at, yeah.
Yeah, conveniently.
So I think it's probably through that, perhaps, that this relationship is built up and stuff. It's kind of late night sorting out the stock or something, or something along those lines.
But I think as well, it's a case of he didn't really want to get back with his wife, but he wanted the security of where do I go? I need to have somebody. It was like he couldn't be on his own, which I think is a bit pathetic.
No, but I knew that line that his wife says to him, like I think you're the most annoying person I've ever met, and I'm just thinking that's what you'd say to him.
To Adam Sandler, yeah.
I don't like you. I don't want to be anywhere near you.
Yeah. And he's even worse as a character in this for me. Like his values, his traits, they just grate on me. I hate somebody who gambles and bets on things and gets you into an even worse situation. I'm a very secure person. I like to have it all kind of planned out.
Yeah.
I couldn't just take my money, like that amount of money, and gamble it all away. I couldn't. That's just not who I am.
No, I kind of value money too much to be able to. I mean, I have terrible luck on most things, enter competitions and nothing ever comes of them. So for no chance I'm going to put a load of money on the off chance that I win, like double, triple, whatever.
No, it's not going to happen, is it?
It doesn't work in my favour. But like another tense moment is, I always hate those situations, especially it's more like when you're trying to, people are waiting on you. Mm-hmm. So, for example, what I mean by that is when obviously they're trying to let Kevin Garnett and all these people coming through that glass bit, security bit, like, buzz him in, and the buzzer isn't working. It's like, oh no, like, oh, that moment for me is terrible because that especially as they can clearly see, it's like, come on, open the door, like things like I'm trying, but it's like I don't know
the pressure of it there as well, issues. And it's like literally you can see the trying, so I don't know why you're pressuring him so much.
It's like coming up the door, like I'm not messing around, not doing it on purpose, but it's like, And
I think it's because of how the importance of it is of everything. Everything has to go like to plan, which we all know. It sometimes doesn't. You can plan everything. Yeah. You could be the perfect planner and it still won't go to plan. Yeah.
But it's just annoying those technical drawbacks with things like we've done plenty of times when we've recorded and it's like, oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
With guests and stuff. It's like, oh, why is the mic not working?
But
why
then
can
at least
you
they're not yelling at us. Going,
no.
Come on, let us hear you.
Yeah. I suppose. But yeah, it's the same scenario with that, really.
But I think as well, it's the one where we've got KG arrives and wants to buy it.
Oh, and then you've got the Uncut Gem.
Yeah. And you've got, I forgot his name, the other guy that works in the shop. And
Damani. Yeah.
Yeah, so that relationship seems to go a bit sour quite quickly because he thinks he's better than like Howard and he's got these knockoff watches.
Rolexes,
and he thinks, oh, I've got connections and stuff like that. And when he doesn't have KG's ring to give back.
Yeah.
That's when he kind of loses his rag.
Yeah.
And takes it out on the poor fish by pouring juice into the fish tank. I don't know actually if that would kill fish or not. I don't know if it poisoned them a little bit or something.
I don't know, there'd be chemicals in it, who knows. But
then you can see poor Howard stressing to get his fish out, and it's like, well, if you loved your family as much as you do your fish, you might be all right.
I suppose, yes, put into context.
You know, if you actually put up with your family and kind of cared for him, then I think you'd be okay.
I think the fish don't really give him that much trouble. They're not shouting at him or getting him out. They're just swimming around peacefully. I think that's maybe the allegory, because that's a calming thing for him in his, very hectic lifestyle, perhaps. And it's like, oh no, that's destroyed that whole
calm Zen moment. I do think as well, when he's breaking up with Julia, he doesn't want to bring his son up, but he needs the toilet. And it's like, I've got to go. So he makes him go to his next door neighbour's toilet, which just seems absurd when he's got a bathroom that perfectly works.
I know. Which is kind of backfires on me anyway, because then he's like, the neighbour's told his son anyway, oh, there's this hot girl that can come into the apartment. So I was like, might as well just let him in the first place. So it's kind of...
you weren't there.
So it's, he's trying to do right, or try and avoid an awkward conversation by not involving him in, like, knowing what he's been doing, because he's none the wiser, thinking it's with his mum or whatever. But no, it's not. So it's kind of like breaking down that relationship, maybe losing a bit of respect there as well.
Definitely, I think it all goes downhill.
Yeah, the whole theme we've got as well is the whole greed thing. Obviously, that Kevin Garnett, when he sees these uncut gem with these black opals, and they're just like this very vivid rainbow coloured stones, and he's kind of like hypnotised by it and believes it has like magical powers or something like that. It's almost like ethereal, where he's there's like when he's staring at it first, and it's like comes like this flashback of all like all the stuff from the Ethiopian tribes and stuff. There's just like some like there's such a history of like the culture of black people and how they've worked tirelessly to get them. They've put so much of the time and effort into acquiring these things, and obviously like how the people have like ravaged the land and stuff. I guess it's like
I think it's the history behind it, isn't it? Really, and obviously with KG coming from that background as well, I think he's definitely feeling connected within the stone, and feels like it brings him luck. I do think, to be fair, I think anyone can pretend and think that. I don't think actually, I think luck is how you feel and how you optimize it, really.
Yeah, I've never been one of those things that, like, if I have this, wear this chain around my neck, then it's, or wear me lucky socks or something like that. You
are a bit superstitious, Paul, because there's this horrible thing that you've got that's got a green...
Oh, it's a
leprechaun, and you won't chuck it away.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I would bin that because it's awful, and it's like pretends to be a snow globe.
Yeah, but it's little Irish leprechaun inside.
There's hardly any water in it now. It's that old. It doesn't even do its purpose. It just looks mucky, and you won't chuck it because it's like it'll be unlucky. So maybe there's something in that, or maybe it's just because it's a leprechaun. You think it's...
Yeah.
Are you thinking the Leprechaun movie? It's going to come out and go,
come and eat me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you. It's like the other scene where, yet again, the auction. Obviously, it doesn't get the value that he wants, and he makes his friend bid.
Stressful situation because of like you want more, or you don't know. Especially with eBay stuff, you can do that sometimes. I don't do it very often, but if I in the past, I wanted something, it's like, be sniped at the last minute, especially. You haven't lost out, essentially, you haven't put money down, typically, but then if you want something really bad, and it's like, yes, I'm going to get it for a good price, and then someone puts like a penny difference, and it's like, oh, come on. That's stressful.
Yeah, and it's when you're going higher and higher, and then can you actually afford it?
Those typical ones, then that's where it gets a bit messy and scary. And
I think I've only done one thing, bidding on eBay before, and it was for Sarah's typewriter, and that was like stressful because I didn't know what I was doing, and It was like, I felt the anxiety, kept checking.
Yeah.
And it's like, is it really
worth it? Yeah,
worth it?
'cause things like that, we got to think, well, is it going to be worth putting that much money down for it? If or kind of like, oh, maybe just try and look on a different one someone else might be selling, that kind of thing. But obviously, it's quite different. And these big, valuable auctions were like one-off things. But even the finale with the whole basketball game, where obviously the big league of putting the money down. Even obviously, I've seen the film before. Even I was getting stressed again. Like the whole situation of like what is riding on this is a lot of money.
I kept on going up with scenarios of what could happen that would go wrong because everything in this film had gone wrong.
Yeah,
I didn't anticipate how it was going to end very well. So initially, I thought Julia, she had to go to, was it like Las Vegas to put the bet on or something like that. And I thought maybe she'd done the wrong bet or done it the wrong way round or something like that.
Yeah, you could think that, couldn't you?
Because
like,
she didn't know what she was doing.
Yeah, take this money, read the thing, the card, and you could lose that, or someone,
misinterpret what is being written and anything like that.
Lose
so I thought it was going to be her fault and then he was going to go off on one on her.
Yeah.
So that was one outcome. Then I thought, okay, you had to confirm that she'd done the bet right for me because I was like, right, okay, that's all right then. At least it's not her fault because, bless her, all she's done for Howard is try and be there for him, really. I don't know why, because she could do so much better. Like, she could have got the weekend and she wants...
stability. Well, she got the apartment or whatever, so...
Yeah, I guess, but the weekend, I'm sure he could have given her more.
Yeah.
So then you've got the whole...
One way or the other, yeah.
Yeah, true. You've got the whole KG winning the game. So I wondered if Howard had psyched KG out because he was telling him about what people were thinking about him, the stats and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, instead of empowering him, could it have gone the other way and
made him overthink things. Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe that's the outcome of this film, that he puts all this money on it and he loses it.
Yeah.
So because he's lost it every other time, hasn't he? So is it just a reoccurring? But actually, I'm shocked. They won, so he won the bet. That was fine.
Yeah.
And obviously, the girl Julia, she gets this other sleazeball to help her out, even though he's a creep.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
To collect the money so the bad guys don't come after her, because some people have flown over and followed her.
Yeah.
Howard, luckily, his door has helped him this time to trap the crooks, basically, and the family guy that he's got.
Yeah, associated.
Yeah, so they're watching the game. They're really warm in this.
Yeah, sweating their ass off.
In the door.
They're still smoking, which is thinking, well, there's no ventilation in there, so you're going to smoke and
it's awful.
Like kippers in there. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's bulletproof is the glass.
Yeah.
So the one guy that's like proper psycho and does all the brutality.
He's got the really like croaky voice and stuff.
Whack job.
Yeah.
Well, this I did not see. I did not see coming, did I, Paul?
No. I had to say I had to hide the fact that when you should do the bramble, like, oh, is he gonna die? I couldn't say yes because you'd be like, oh, it's great. I'm gonna look. But I had to keep a poker face on that. Because...
Well, I thought I was going to be the right cowbag because I wanted him to die and then he was going to commit suicide or something, and then I felt like I'd have ate my words and been a bit guilty.
No. But the look on your face was actually pretty priceless. When the reaction to what had occurred, because you kind of just like watching, like, yeah, celebrating. He lets them through, and then immediately gets shot in the head, and you like gasped in shock, and then for some reason you started like bursting out laughing like you're doing now.
It was so amazing. It was like, I thought he's got away with murder, basically. Like, oh, he's got off scot-free. Like, so it kind of felt like that calm moment. Everyone was celebrating, and then it was like literally just a boom.
Heel turn. Yeah,
and I was like, what? I just didn't expect it at all at that point. I just thought if he was going to die, he'd have died already by now. Mm-hmm. Not the fact that he's won loads of money and now he dies.
Twist, yeah.
Yeah, so it was like I did not see it coming, and then it was just hysterical at the fact that he'd won all this money. At least he died happy.
I guess.
And just seeing Adam Sandler die, I mean, not that I want the person to die, just the characters he plays. Like, I don't really want to kill him. I'm not that.
Yeah, don't wish well.
No,
kill him. Yeah.
No,
just like in your head, you're probably like screaming in excitement.
I just thought it was hilarious. I know that sounds horrible, but it's like he's been an arse the entire film. He really deserves it. And just the fact that he was like at his happiest, and then it was like someone went, nope, boom, you're dead. And he killed the family man as well. And then
and then the other guys just robbed the place and just like,
you see Julia kind of getting off with the money, but we don't really know what happens if she has a good life after the fact. Or...
No, it's kind of like obviously a reflection on like the other scenarios with other people that he's been involved with, his family and stuff. So now it's like bittersweet. The fact like they're expecting him to come back because he said like wait at the house or whatever, and now he's not going to come back, and it's like left them with what? It's beyond me because Julia's got all that money.
Yep.
And
is she going to be a good person, or is she just going to take it for herself? Or is she going to get killed because there's people out there for the psycho man that he sent over there? So is it that that's going to happen to her and she doesn't have it, and then the crooks get it? I don't know. But it was a good way to end.
Yeah, I mean, not in the same way that you're saying it's probably a good way to end, but it is kind of like the whole story is really gripping. It kind of, despite all the crazy anxiety that goes to it, kind of the film really flies by, I think.
It's very intense. I think it's one of those things, if you're in a bit of a dark place yourself, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, absolutely not. No.
Because you could feel really dark from it after and stressed out and not worth your mental health. No. I think it does really play on, even if somebody's very stable in life, which I think we are, it does play on that still. Yeah,
it definitely does. I think there's the whole, maybe there's a message of like, greed can get the best of you in most aspects, obviously in a fatal way, perhaps.
And also just be grateful for what you've got. He's not grateful for anything that he's got. Like, every time he gets something, he's
always got to take a step up to the next level with it. And it's clearly doesn't work out for him.
No.
To some extent, yeah.
We'll give it that it is probably the best Adam Sandler movie that I've seen. Well, it's not a cringe movie.
I'd say it probably is on my side as well, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
There is another one that's a bit more serious, but in a different way. But you might see some parallels with a little bit like with Wedding Singer or something else. But
yeah, I think those.
Whereas this is more dark and gritty of his performance.
He does get. Initially, I see him for Adam Sandler, and then eventually, I see him as Howard, which is good. And I'm not just seeing him as that. Whereas in any other film,
did it help with the fact he's got those tinted glasses? Or
maybe,
something? Yeah, you don't see his eyes half the time or whatever.
Yeah.
But so he's wearing glasses, so therefore it's not him. It's like Clark Kent for Superman.
But I think he's not just being stupid. He is being stupid, but he's more in an arrogant.
It's not an irritating, over the top way. Trying to in the side like in Happy Gilmore, where he's yelling at the ground a ball to go in a hole or something. Like that kind of stupidity. Yeah,
which I appreciate. It's not.
It's more realistic anger at situations like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Or you're like, "Oh, I can't believe that you've printed the wrong thing for this bid," and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Those kind of situations, not like, wave your ass in somebody's face or something ridiculous like that. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. So, what would you rate it overall then? The film.
That's hard. It's a good film. I don't think I'd want to watch it again anytime soon because I just don't like the way it made me feel.
No, I understand. Yeah. But it's not like it's not a one and done.
No, I would probably eventually watch it again. Yeah. And I think I'd enjoy it more because I know the outcome, so hopefully I won't feel as anxious. But from what you're saying, maybe. But maybe you were vibing off me as well.
Maybe, yeah, I guess there was that. But I say, like, it's like, watched it when it came out in 2019, and then I haven't seen it since, but other than like clips on YouTube or whatever. But it's still a gripping experience, I think, really.
I think the storyline is really good. I think it's driven really well. Mm-hmm. The ending is shock, and I think it adds value to the movie that way. And I'm happy, weirdly, it ends that way because it shows you can't have everything and eat your cake too, which that is life.
Yep.
He weirdly doesn't bother me, which is good. So I've done a bit of like you with the Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
With Top Gun. So I would say, I think I'm going to marry what you did. I think it's going to be like a 7.
That's fair. Yep.
Just because obviously Adam Sandler, he does a good part, but it's Adam Sandler. But the film overall is really good, but just the intensity of it, it's a bit like I can't really mark it like an 8, even though it's really clever.
Okay.
Just for the purpose of it's so stressful. Like, why am I watching this? Like, I'm literally making myself feel stressed. I can do that like any normal day of the life.
Exactly, yeah, I understand that.
Why would I want to put myself through a film that's going to make me feel stressed for 2 hours?
Yeah. Well, I'm quite happy with that score because I'm not too far off from what you are anyway, really. When I already had this marked down on our Letterboxd account, and that was a 8.
Okay.
I wrote down. So after seeing this again, I think it still sits at an 8, really, maybe 8.5 perhaps, but it's definitely because of the situation, like, what's involved in it. It is an experience to go through. So there's something like, oh, I must like watch that again like next week or anything like that because it's just too much to handle. So it's kind of like I say, it's good to come back to now and again. I feel like, every 2 years or something like that, or 3. But it's a really solid experience of watching, and it's on Netflix, so it's kind of easy to access really all the time. Really, I can't see them getting rid of it because, like I say, it's one of the most popular A24 films out there as of recent years. So
sounds good. I'm glad that I am disappointed you.
Yeah. I thought maybe like 10 because he died at the end or something.
No, it does make it higher, but I think I'm more kind of going on a critical view of.
Sure. Do you think? What would you put it? Would have been? Do you think it initially? Do you think it was going to be like 5 or something?
Yeah, it was going to be a low one. I didn't think it was going to be as high as because Adam Sandler would have really. But probably you thought that about Tom Cruise, that you were going to be scoring it quite low.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you look past on the other parts, and it's just that one element of it. And
I think, to be fair, it's one of those for me where it's more now going on to the story of it, which is solid. It really is, but it's intense, and that's why it's not so high, because like Singing in the Rain is a 10 for me, which is a happy-go-lucky film.
No, it's quite a different kettle of fish.
Yeah, and that makes you feel great, whereas this one still
absolutely
makes you feel a bit like, wow, God, life can be shit.
Yeah. It's one of those films that kind of like you can sort of relate in a sense because there is always that day-to-day stresses that have if you got there's not enough time in the day to do everything
or money.
Yeah, those kind of things. So it's not a film to kind of remind you of that, but maybe it's those things exist, sure, but you are not dealing with as much stress as this guy is.
So it makes you feel grateful for what you've got.
Yeah, you think you could be in his position.
But it wouldn't be, because I wouldn't be as daft.
Yeah, that's true.
To gamble that amount of money away. Once I'd got it, I'd be like, right, let's save it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's the smart thing to do. Well, thank you very much for listening to this episode. And if you wouldn't mind going listening to some of our other episodes over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, and wherever else you might get your podcasts from, that'd be great.
Yep, so we're also on social media, mainly on the platforms Twitter and Instagram. So if you want to go and follow us, leave us a comment, anything that's nice and fluffy, do all of that, under the handle SP_film viewers. So go check us out and send us messages. Tell us what you want us to review next.
May as well also plug the fact that we are on Letterboxd as well. So we've got the account on there where we obviously log these films down, and then any other films that we might watch or I might watch. More so when Sophie's like, I don't want to sit down for that. Yeah. So I do my own scoring system based on things that I've personally seen as well, or like trying to collect what I have on my shelves on there. So that's, if you follow the Linktree link, it's on there, or you just search for SP Film Viewers on the Letterboxd page. You can find us on there. We do also have a TikTok as well where we post the little promotional clips of the episodes that we do and stuff, and any other things on there. You mean when I can be bothered? Yeah.
You mean the old footy duddies are trying to get down with the kids? Is that what you're saying nowadays?
Yeah. So, not doing just any old things on there, but it's just if you want to follow us on there, we're under the handle SP_film viewers on there as well. So, with all that being said, thank you very much for listening once again, and we will speak to you next time.
Speak to you next time.
Bye.
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 Bye.